Hi, I'm Jessica Connor, and I'm so happy you chose to be here. Today, I'm going to show you how to train your brain for effortless manifestation without waiting years for results. What I'm about to show you is rarely talked about mainstream, and it might even be considered a little controversial because I'm going to expose why some of the traditional methods you might already be using just don't work. As a law of attraction and personal development coach for the last 9 years and a doctor of philosophy, I've been able to coach my most exclusive clients into massive success using these secret strategies. I'm also responsible for one of the fastest growing manifestation channels on YouTube with over 650,000 subscribers. You probably wouldn't have shown up for this class today if you didn't want to experience some type of change in your life. So I already know that you too want to experience massive abundance and success like so many others have learned to do. And I want you to know that you're in the right place and that you're going to see how to get those results in record time. So here we go. How to train your brain for effortless manifestation without waiting years for results. Let me ask you a question. Did you know that everything you do and create in your life happens because of an automatic program that you have within the operating system of you? We're all driven by our internal human programs, and these programs literally dictate everything in our lives. I know some of you have been using the law of attraction for quite some time, and I also know that putting in so much effort and then waiting for results can be quite frustrating. So we're going to cut through all of that and make the manifestation process really easy from the standpoint of how your brain creates reality. And even if you're new to the law of attraction, I'm going to save you years of exerting tons of willpower and being confronted with irritation using techniques that don't work or that offer only temporary results. If you stay until the end of this training, I'm going to give you an MP3 of my most popular meditation that individuals report having a fantastic manifestation success rate with. This meditation's been reported to literally heal people. Others have reported windfalls of money after listening to it. I've had people tell me that they've gotten free tickets to shows, new jobs. I've had people tell me that they got a call from someone they were hoping to hear from, and even chance encounters with new love interests, and many, many other wonderful things. So I spent a tremendous amount of time on creating the affirmations for this meditation and a lot of time on the production just so I could get it right so that people could make any type of change that they desire in their life. I've actually sold thousands of copies of this meditation, but I want to give it today to you free so you can see the power it has over your own life. So stick around till the end so you don't miss out on that. And I really want you to have a different experience than you've had with other trainings or with manifestation info that you've learned. So I'm going to ask you to close out everything else you're doing, turn off your social media and your phone or your TV, and get ready to learn some really powerful stuff. If you're not paying attention to what I'm telling you, none of this is going to help you at all. So be certain you're giving me your full attention. So let me just talk briefly about how I know what I know about manifestation and how I became a law of attraction and personal development coach. For those of you who are unfamiliar with my story, I'm just going to give you a really quick background about it. So when I was in my early 20s, I had severe anxiety and panic attacks. And because of that anxiety, I had difficulty being around large groups of people, which turned into difficulty holding a job. So to bring money in for my family, I cleaned homes for a living. Basically, it didn't require a lot of interaction with others, so it was something that I was able to do. And I did that for 15 years. So during all of that, I went through a divorce and found myself as a single mom raising 2 young boys. And at that time, I was definitely in the category of struggling every day to survive. I was pretty good at faking my way through what was going on the inside, but I didn't have much money, and I often had to choose which bill to pay, and sometimes I'd even put off a bill to buy groceries or some other necessity. Basically, I didn't feel worthy of having a good life, and I was really, really scared of where my life was headed. So this was my biggest life challenge, and I had no idea how to pull myself out of that. I was existing and I was surviving, but I was really not thriving, and I was not experiencing true happiness. Does just surviving sound familiar to you at all? I mean, you may not have the same struggles I had, but do you ever just feel stuck? Like you're not sure which direction you're going in? You know you're a good person and you try to do the right things, and yet somehow you stay in the same position, spinning your wheels, so to speak, not really moving forward. So I know from personal experience that that can feel really lonely when it happens. But I want you to know that it's more common than you might think. So when this happened to me, it affected every area of my life. It was really, really a low point for me. And I was trying everything I could think of to move past it. And I went on this massive quest searching for the answer to fix my life. So then something wonderful happened. Just when I thought I couldn't bear any more of the way I felt, I came across someone who showed me how to train my brain differently. I had almost resigned myself to the fact that I was destined to live a life of mediocrity. But this person taught me that there was nothing wrong with me. In fact, what I learned was that my brain was driving my behavior in very efficient ways. It was just that that behavior was not the behavior I wanted to enact because it was sabotaging my life. But through this process, I learned how to install and run new automatic behaviors into my subconscious mind, and that pulled me out of the slump. Did you even know that was possible? I didn't know it at the time, but it's actually what changed my life in really drastic ways. So then I immediately started living in the real world again. I was traveling, I was attending seminars, I was socializing and meeting new people, and felt just overall really, really happy. So then that fascinated me, just how quickly I was able to make that shift. And then I had this huge desire to learn more about how that happened and why it works so well. What hit me was that I was simply running old mental programs that were sabotaging me from the inside out. And then I thought, well, if my anxiety programs could be changed, which they did, I could probably change any other program and areas of my life that I wanted to. Feeling upbeat and happy at the time like I was, I decided to create a new goal. And that goal was that I wanted to transition from working so hard as a maid and learn to create and run a new program that drove me towards automatic and effortless success in my life. That prospect really excited me so much that I told myself I was going to educate myself in every way possible and learn to create success in my own life, and then I wanted to teach the same to others. So here's what I did. I put myself through school while I cleaned houses. And that journey led me to studying the science of the mind, the law of attraction, quantum physics, neuro-linguistic programming. I studied metaphysics and science of success. I even went into energy healing and psychology and universal laws, and then into meditation and so many other wonderful, wonderful modalities of healing. So what happened? I eventually went from maid to doctor by earning my PhD in philosophy and have a practitioner's license to counsel and a specialty in holistic life coaching. I learned to literally take conscious control of my mind, install new mental programs that worked for me instead of against me, and I changed my life and my circumstances in really drastic and abundant ways. So we actually all have these programs in our brain because the brain is designed to work in efficient ways. It's only that sometimes those programs are working in ways that defeat us instead of empowering us. So let me ask you a question. Can you recognize any areas of your life where you feel like no matter how hard you try, you just can't move into better circumstances? So if you can, that's a mental program that's working against you, just like the ones I had. But I'm here to tell you it does not have to be that way. It's just that most people don't know that the brain even does this, much less how to change the unwanted automatic programs. When I look back, I can tell you I discovered so much of this the hard way. I spent years and years searching and studying. I put in a tremendous amount of effort, and I did that so I could find the way to effortlessly manifest whatever I wanted out of life. That sounds a little counterintuitive, but it's exactly what I did. I had to put in the effort to figure out how to do it effortlessly. So there was a lot of trial and error on my part, and a lot of frustration, and many times I had to force myself to keep going. I'd be literally exhausted. And I did some things wrong, and I made mistakes, and then there were things that I actually did right, and I learned from those mistakes. And so after all of that hard work and attempting many, many different things, I learned how to write a success and abundance program in my brain that works automatically for me. And when I say success and abundance, I mean that for every area of my life. I'm now successful at everything I decide to create in my life. And I don't say that to sound arrogant. I'm saying that to let you know that I figured it out and to give you hope that you can do the same thing, because literally anyone can do this. So here's what my life looks like now. I have over 500,000 YouTube subscribers. I've coached and counseled thousands of clients into leading successful lives. I've written and published a best-selling book. I've also been asked to work with experts in the field of human potential. These are thought world leaders, such as best-selling author Sarah Prout. I was asked to work with former Italian supermodel, who was turned best-selling author and transformational coach, Lucia Giovanni, international speaker and personal development coach John Assroff, and Dr. Pat Bacilli, who's a TV commentator and the founder of the Transformation Network. She also runs the Dr. Pat Show, so you might be familiar with her. So basically, I get to help people transform their lives, which is the best feeling in the world. I get to do what I'm passionate about and be successful at it. And I now know what worked for me also works for others. And I get to wake up each day with extreme excitement for the good things that happen. So can you see the difference in these two girls? That girl on the left's a little bit beat down. And that girl on the right, she's happy and living and experiencing life. How do you feel when you wake up each day? Are you like the girl on the right, like the new me, who's excited for things to come? Or are you like the girl on the left, the old me, where you currently wake up with disappointment, frustration, or anxiety? Certainly, the challenge that you might want to overcome by being here today is that you're not a 20-year-old filled with anxiety for the next 15 years. But what are your challenges? And how long have you been suffering or just getting by because of them? You're here because there's a cycle in your life that seems daunting, and it's time to feel and be different. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that there is a way to cheat your internal system and get results in extremely fast ways. There's a simple way to bypass all of the effort, all of the frustration, all of the problems, sifting through thousands of techniques and videos, and using extreme willpower to get what you want. I'm also a firm believer that if you have a problem, there's someone out there who already has the solution for that. They've already created it. And you just have to go find them so you can cut through all the fluff and get straight to what really works. The fascinating thing for me on my journey was that I couldn't ignore the connection that once I began to rewrite the programs in my brain, every area of my life started to improve. Life got easier. I learned to trust myself and my instincts and to trust the flow of what was happening around me. So I want to teach you the effortless way to do that. So you want to know the easy way, right? Okay, so think for just a moment. What would it be and feel like to have success and abundance in your life? What does ultimate happiness and freedom look like to you? If you want to have abundance of money, that's great. You can absolutely have money. But when I say success and abundance, I'm including all forms of that. So there can be an abundance of fun experiences, or you can have success in being great at socializing or finding the love of your life. You can be successful at creating a perfect career. You can have abundance of travel and adventure. Really, success and abundance means so many different things to so many different people, and the possibilities are pretty limitless on that. So whatever success and abundance means to you, what does that look like? What does success and abundance look like to you? That's really the big question. What would make your life be filled with happiness and joy? It's a personal choice, and you can choose whatever you wish. So just right now, think in this moment, what does success and abundance look like to you? And get a mental image of that. Now that you have your image, let me ask you another question. What if you had all of that in your life in the next 6 months? Or even 3 months? Even better than that, what if you started seeing results this week? And what if that happened in a very effortless way, without having to waste time and use a ton of willpower? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, so let's get on with it. We're going to talk about how to retrain your brain for effortless success without wasting time on things that don't work. I'm going to go through 3 secrets to manifesting that you may not know. And let's start by discovering the number 1 secret that successful manifestors know. So what's the secret? You don't have to be a genius or have a lot of extra time on your hands to manifest a life you love. The first thing I want you to do is ask yourself if you believe that's true. I can tell you that my old self certainly did not hold that belief. I think my old self's belief probably looked more like this. I'm not sure I'm smart enough to be successful. I don't have a lot of time to spend on myself, and I clean houses for a living. So creating a life I love seems like a pretty far-fetched idea. That was pretty much closer to the belief system I had then, because I didn't think I was worthy, and I didn't think anyone would ever listen to me, and I certainly didn't think I could create abundance and success. I was barely keeping my head above water, so all of that seemed like a fairy tale. So what we need to know is that we each have ideas and beliefs regarding what we're capable of accomplishing, and we each carry a mental blueprint regarding who and what we are. So this blueprint builds the automatic programs that our brains run, and those programs determine the outcome of literally everything in our lives, from relationships to money to the types of friends and career we have, and really everything else in between. We imagine something to be true about ourselves and the type of life we live, and then it's enacted automatically through our feelings, actions, thoughts, and behavior. So consequently, our success and abundance, or lack thereof, are a direct result of the programs that we have within us. It literally has nothing to do with how smart we are or how much time we have on our hands. When a program's in place in our subconscious mind, that program will run automatically and create the corresponding results every single time. We can only see and create what we're programmed to see and create. That's a pretty important statement. So let that soak in for just a minute. We can only see and create what we are programmed to see and create. So how are the programs that we have, how are they created? I'm going to run through some bullet points really quickly to shed some light on this for you. So number 1, subconscious behaviors and patterns are learned before the age of around 6 to 7 years old. This is because children before this age are in theta brainwave state. And in this state, information is downloaded effortlessly. So theta states are a little slower, they're more relaxed, and this is what you see in hypnosis, and it's also the state that relates to deep sleep. Theta state governs the part of our mind that lies between our conscious and our subconscious. And it's also the state where we retain memories and feelings and where we form our beliefs and behaviors. So number 2, during this impressionable time, the programs and rules that are taught come from other people. When you were born, the only programs you had were of an instinctual nature. So when you're in this theta state, you learn thousands of rules and ways to interact and function as a member of family and society during those first 6-7 years of your life. And then you create beliefs and behaviors, and you retain strong memories based on your feelings. So all of that happens, it comes from other people. It's not actually something that you have, it's something that you learn. All right, number 3, here's where things get a little interesting. Approximately 70% of the programs that most people download during this time and now run automatically in their current life are disempowering, self-sabotaging, and negative because they consist of these rules that are learned. 70%. Okay, so we all know that rules are great, they keep social order, but many of the rules that are taught only serve to squash the creative side. And this is cyclical because your parents or the people who raised you were taught rules as well. So that was what their program is, and they learned it and then they passed it on. It's not really something you blame anyone about, it just naturally happens. But if you have a ton of rules floating around in your brain about what you're capable of doing, you can probably see how it might block success. Are you able to see that? Especially if there's self-sabotaging negative beliefs. Which brings me to my next point. Number 4, any self-sabotaging programs that you might have will get in the way of your natural life. For example, these types of programs prevent self-healing, and they also prevent experiencing abundance as a natural state. That's pretty important. Okay, number 5, as you get older, you're in your thoughts approximately 95% of the time. So these thoughts that you're running 95% of the time come from your subconscious programs, all those rules you learned. This means that approximately 95% of the time, you're being driven by your subconscious programs. The programs we just talked about that were established within you by others. So it doesn't matter if they're working for you or not. The subconscious mind's going to do its job either way. Okay, number 6. Unfortunately, many people will play the victim when their life doesn't reflect what they truly desire. This is because they believe they're consciously controlling what they're doing and that outside conditions are blocking them, when in fact it's their self-sabotaging and negative subconscious programs that are most often the only thing stopping them from having success. Okay, number 7, your conscious mind is creative, but it's not dominant. You must consciously use your conscious mind to be creative and imaginative. And this is a lot of what I teach on my channel. This one function puts you in the driver's seat of your operating system. It's just that so many people don't consciously know how to use the conscious mind to change their internal programs. And here's why. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind learn in completely different ways. So think about this. You just learned that approximately 70% of your automatic programs are negative. But just me telling you that, did it change it for you? You're now consciously aware of the fact because it's something you just learned, but that won't change it. This is also why you can watch a video or read a self-help book and learn all the information that's given on a conscious level and never really truly make a change. Your subconscious mind doesn't learn information in the same way the conscious mind learns. You have to get on its level and tap into the way it learns in order to make it work for you. And here's the fun part. When you know how to speak to the subconscious mind on its level and how to properly use your consciousness to control your subconscious behaviors, you can literally change every single aspect of your life. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If I were to ask you what programs were given to you when you were a young child, do you think you could tell me what they are? Can you recognize your current dominant program or programs? So most people can't answer this question with any degree of certainty, so don't feel bad if you can't. You may not even know you had programs. So here's an easy way to see what your programs are. 95% of your life is your program. It's a manifestation of the programs that are within you. So if you're having difficulty manifesting money or love or the perfect career or a great group of friends, it's always going to be due to the programs that you have regarding each one of those things. Those programs are deep within your subconscious mind. It won't have anything to do with how smart you are, and it won't have anything to do with how much time you have on your hands. The subconscious mind is a machine, and you can't tell it what to do consciously. Its job is just to record information and then play it back for you. So here's a way that I explain it sometimes to my clients. If you were playing a CD in your car and then you decided to have a talk with your CD player to tell it that you don't like the CD that's playing and that you would like for it to put another one in for you, do you think you'd be wasting your breath? I'm going to say yes. And why do you think that might be? Because you'd be talking to a machine that doesn't respond to verbal commands. You'd have to change the CD yourself or push another button to make it work. It's the same with your subconscious mind. Self-talk does not register with this part of you, and it doesn't change it. It's literally a machine, and you have to know how to operate that machine to make it work effectively for you. You have to know how to get into the operating system to tell it to create new programs that make real lasting change. That's pretty awesome though, right? You can change a program in your subconscious mind, and it will literally drive you towards success in the same way it drives your life now. Once you hand over the program, it'll do all the work for you, and it'll create a life you love. Doesn't that sound like effortless manifestation? It's pretty cool in my opinion. It was one of the things that pretty much shocked me when I was learning all this stuff about how to change my own life. Okay, let's go to the second secret that successful manifestors know. Negative beliefs, programmed in the subconscious mind, can be changed to positive beliefs in minutes. Not years, not months, not days, but literally in minutes. Yes, you heard that right. Okay, so what's your current belief system about this? Does it look like this? My negative beliefs are difficult to change and they sabotage my manifesting efforts. I'm just stuck with them. And as much as I try, I'm unable to make them shift. So this is something I've heard over and over again from my coaching clients, and I used to believe the exact same thing. But I can tell you from my own personal transformation and subsequently my years of coaching that this is not true. Negative beliefs can change in dramatic fashion. So let's talk about why. You probably already know that if your subconscious desires are not in alignment with your conscious desires, it's your subconscious desires that will dictate what is happening in your life. So if you're holding on to negative beliefs, which are always rooted in your subconscious mind and in the programs that are there, you're not going to have success in your life. This is what keeps you in a loop of recreating the same things over and over, no matter how hard you try to make a change. So this is the biggest frustration that I hear from people. And as we've just talked about, the subconscious mind works with programs that are created from the rules that you learned as a young child before the age of about 6 or 7. So those programs are created as a means of automatically guiding you to interact and function as a member of family and society. But if you've ever tried, it probably seems that changing negative beliefs takes a really long time. The fact is, people who are able to manifest effortlessly know how to change beliefs that aren't working for them, and they know how to do it in record time. And hear this, anyone willing to try can begin to change their old programs immediately and begin to see instant results. So here's why. The subconscious mind sees everything in present moment time. If it's given the proper opportunity to embrace a new belief, such as, I deserve to be abundant and successful, or I naturally attract good things in my life, it will accept it as now and continue to live it out in the future as much as in the now, because it sees everything in present moment time. Okay, so here's the rub though. After about the age of 7, the brain goes into what's known as brain dominance. Sometimes you're working from the right side of the brain, and sometimes you're working from the left side of the brain. And this switches periodically throughout the day. So your learning becomes impaired. It becomes almost impossible to create new beliefs without understanding how to get the brain into download mode. We generally only work with the logical side of a problem or the emotional side of a problem. But very rarely do we work with both at the same time. And you need the two to work together to make rapid changes in beliefs and programs. So how do we do this? We do it through what's known as spontaneous learning. It's just that many people don't even have the knowledge that the subconscious mind can do this, which I think is kind of sad, really. We're not taught in school that you can do this, and it's not something that's mainstream that you typically hear. But spontaneous learning, which is exactly as it sounds, is when the subconscious mind downloads information instantly. And this is something it already knows how to do. It's something we've all done as children. It's how everyone has created the current programs that their mind runs. And it happens without effort. It's very natural to a child. So if you've ever observed a child of this age, you can easily see how they intermingle reality and imagination in a pretty seamless way. In fact, children ages 3 and under are constantly learning on an unconscious level, from moment to moment. So from this downloading of information, the automatic programs are created. And everything you currently like in your life that comes to you easily got there because you have a program that supports it. And everything you don't have, or don't like, or have to work hard for has a program that doesn't support it. You simply need a program that supports you in having what you want to change the outcome. So in spontaneous learning moments, you can download new beliefs, which then create a new program that supports you in having success and abundance and ends your struggle to create the things you want. Spontaneous learning makes everything effortless. You can download a new belief in minutes and walk away with a new behavior and become in complete agreement with your manifestation. Did you even know you could do that? Literally anyone can do this when they understand how to do it. And think about this. When we shift a fundamental belief, we automatically shift our thoughts, attitudes, feelings, and decisions. And then we have a new set of priorities. And then when that happens, everything changes. This is when the personal journey really becomes fun. This is when all the fun happens. So spontaneous learning is like a hacker that can break the password of your subconscious mind and get into the operating system to create instant positive change. Essentially, it cancels the negative programming and rewrites a new program in its place. Your conscious mind holds all of your wishes and desires. It's only that your subconscious programs block these things. So when you know how to rewrite your program, your subconscious program and conscious wishes have the same destination, and then your brain will take you there. Can you imagine if your brain automatically drove you to success? This is something I want everyone to know. It's what I've done in my own life, and I can tell you it's pretty awesome. You don't have to consciously think about it. It just naturally happens. With spontaneous learning, you don't have to spend a lot of time studying or saying affirmations or becoming frustrated because what you're doing isn't working. Your subconscious mind already knows how to learn spontaneously when it's given the opportunity to do so. And you can know this because it's how you already created and automatically run all of your now programs. It's literally how you have manifested everything that's current in your life. So with the right set of circumstances and guidance, the subconscious mind can and will change negative beliefs into positive beliefs literally in just a few minutes' time. And when done properly, you literally can no longer connect an old emotion with an old thought that causes you discomfort or experiences that you'd rather not have. It dismantles the meaning that your brain once gave it and disintegrates the power it once had over you altogether. Can you see how powerful that is? I mean, it's really pretty amazing. And can you visualize how your life would change if you could change a negative belief into a positive belief in literally just a few minutes? This is how successful manifestors create the things they want so effortlessly. And when I grasped this concept in my own life, I was so shocked to find out how efficient the brain is when you meet it on its own level, where it's most receptive. And I can remember having anxiety in such a powerful way that it crippled me from doing almost anything I wanted to do. And within minutes, my life was completely changed. And then when I learned I could change any belief that wasn't working in my favor, my entire life just propelled forward in every way possible in the most rapid way. It's really quite powerful and remarkable, and we have this super machine at our disposal. Okay, so let's move on to secret number 3 that successful manifestors know. And here it is. Lasting change comes not by attracting things into our lives, but by changing who we are so we are automatically driven to success. This kind of falls in line with what we've just talked about and changing our beliefs so quickly. But do you have a belief that you could be automatically driven to success from the inside? And what do you think the possibilities would be if your brain just naturally gave you the path to create anything you want? We have to transform into the type of person for whom success and abundance are two very natural things. So to have a truly successful life, you have to become the person who's naturally successful. And that happens on a subconscious level. The only difference between a person who isn't successful and one who is that the successful person has a self-image and programs that say they are successful. If you had these same programs, literally nothing could stop you from becoming who you wish to become or from having what you wish to have in life. Through the subconscious programs that we develop over the years, our body becomes a part of that program. In fact, the body knows how to enact the program just as quickly as the brain because it's been doing it since you were a child. You have become the person with the programs that creates everything in your life just as it is now. And for most people, those programs don't change because they're such an intertwined physiological part of who they are. It's in their biology. It's in every cell of their being. Most people don't even know this is the case, much less know how to change it. So consider this. Every memory we have has an emotion attached to it, and those emotions are what the subconscious mind uses to guide our lives. But those emotions are also the end product of past experiences. So the moment the subconscious mind recalls a memory from one of its programs, it accesses the emotion that's attached within fractions of a second, and then it signals the program it has created to immediately kick in and cause automatic actions and reactions to happen. So this happens all day, every day, because the subconscious mind is constantly evaluating and comparing what is happening. It does this by accessing those emotions, the ones that it has stored away in your programs. So in other words, it's extremely common that most people start their day from a position of being in the past, or they live moment by moment from a position of being in the past, because that's what the subconscious mind does. And when we do this, we create a very predictable future that looks just like everything else in the past. Seems kind of like a cruel joke, right? But what if you could completely change any negative emotions that block you from success and abundance? What if you could change that program and those emotions that your subconscious mind is accessing into something completely different? Those emotions are a vital part of keeping that program in place. But when you change it, you break down the program. Here's an interesting fact. 95% of who we are by the time we're 25 years old is a memorized set of thoughts, behaviors, emotional reactions, and unconscious habits that are hardwired within us like a computer program. And then people say, oh, but I really want to be happy, or I really want to have success and abundance. I want to have a life of freedom and adventure. But the mind and body, based on the programs that are created and the strong emotions attached to those programs, are only prepared to take them in the direction they've always taken them, because the program's hardwired. You can say affirmations until you're blue in the face, but if you don't alter your subconscious mind and the ways in which it has stored its programs and create new programs that are driven towards successful outcomes, you cannot produce lasting results. So you must become the person who naturally attracts success and abundance into your life. And you do this by altering the subconscious programs at the emotional level. When you do this properly, you enter the operating system of you, and you hardwire in a new set of rules and a new set of beliefs, an entirely new program, and that makes drastic changes. You don't have to wait until your old program causes you a crisis or a tragedy or some state of suffering or struggling in your life. You can literally change your programs now. You can learn to change now and create a natural state of happiness, success, and abundance, in whatever way success and abundance means to you. What benefits would you have if you were able to be the person who naturally creates these things? Can you see how your life might always stay the same if you don't take control of them? It's so unfortunate that so many people don't understand the power that they have within them to change their entire lives. Your brain already creates your life in automatic ways without you having to put any conscious effort in at all. It learns a program, and every time you experience a trigger for that program, it will play that program perfectly for you every single time. It dismisses everything else as a means of running efficiently. So basically, more happens within you to affect your experience than you might have actually believed was true. I hope that's what this training is showing you. But what if you could change it? What if you could install a program designed by you that connects you with everything you've ever wanted? So the whole idea is to create a new model for success. And we just talked about how the brain uses past memories and emotions to create your life in automatic ways from a hardwired program within you. And the goal here is to create a new program for your brain to work with. So I'm going to give you a little exercise now that's going to help you get into your operating system so you can prove to yourself that you can start making a change within yourself right in this very moment. So get ready to learn the absolute key to unlocking your manifestation power. When we're not manifesting what we want, it's because we have a ceiling, or the maximum we think we can achieve in a certain area, that's held in place by a fundamental and most likely subconscious belief. It may not be a rational or a true belief, but if that belief is there, we aren't going to manifest outside of its parameters. And generally, these beliefs tell you subconsciously that you have to sacrifice something that you're not willing to sacrifice, or give up something that you're not willing to give up in order to attain your desires. So we have to raise our altitude mentally in order to manifest what we want. Belief ceilings limit us from where we can go in life. And the issue is so many people have these ceilings without realizing it. They go unrecognized and unquestioned, and that keeps those beliefs in place. So go ahead and grab your pen and paper, and let's try a little exercise that's going to show you what your belief ceiling is regarding money. This will be the maximum you believe you can achieve when it comes to creating money in your life. Now, money might not be the thing that you want to manifest most, but I want to show you how your belief ceilings work, and this is a great way to do it. So on your piece of paper, go ahead and write down what your current annual income is. And now just below that, I want you to double that figure that you wrote down. And then I want you to close your eyes for just a moment, and I want you to imagine making that double amount of money this year. Now, as you are imagining this, I want you to just check in with how you're feeling in that moment. Does this amount of money cause you to feel uncomfortable when you imagine actually having it as your annual income? If not, I want you to go back to your piece of paper and double that amount again. And then once again, close your eyes for a moment and really imagine creating that amount of money in your life this year. Keep going through these steps until you identify the number that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's important that you get in touch with this discomfort, and I'll explain that in just a moment. And then once you've identified this discomfort, just stay with that for a minute, and from this space, ask yourself, if I made this much money, what in my life would suffer? And then write your answers down on your piece of paper, whatever comes to mind first. Just tune into that discomfort to pinpoint exactly what it is that makes you feel it. So here are some common answers to this question. Leisure time, no time to relax. Loss of freedom. My health, long hours, not enough sleep. My relationships, friends and family might be jealous or I might not have enough time to spend with them. My passion, giving up what I really love to do. Or you might have written down something different. So what you've done with this exercise is you've brought up to the surface of your consciousness what causes you to feel discomfort about creating something. One of the most important things about belief systems is being able to recognize them, because this is actually the opposite of what your brain wants to do. Your brain wants to search for things to confirm those ceilings, not challenge them. But having these types of ceilings keep you from the experiences you want to have. They shape everything you do and create in your life. And interestingly enough, we all have these types of belief ceilings. But literally everyone can experience something completely different in their lives when they learn just two things. One, how to recognize their belief ceilings, like you just did. And two, how to change them. When you look at your life and you look into the possibilities of your future and you look at what you could be capable of, you are inevitably going to come up against some of your own belief ceilings. And another way to recognize those limiting beliefs is the very legitimate, valid reasons that you have for why you haven't created more success or more abundance or more results in your life. You can even ask yourself, what are the results I've produced in the various areas of my life? What are the results that are not in alignment with what I really want to be, do, and have? And what area of my life have I really tried to improve, but no matter what, things just don't get better? Belief ceilings collapse the possibility of creating what is wanted. And this is true for every area of our lives. If you refer back to your piece of paper, you will see that you've identified a belief that holds your money ceiling and the experience of that in place. If you're not manifesting what you truly want for life, it's an indication that you're probably up against a belief ceiling. So then you have to ask yourself the question, is this really true? You can acknowledge that it's a belief system that you've picked up along the way, but is it really 100% true? Is it true that you can only experience what this belief ceiling tells you you can experience? Or is it possible that you could change that belief and experience something more? Beliefs aren't necessarily real, and they don't have to be permanent. But to raise your belief ceilings to a new altitude and experience something different, you must clear those limiting beliefs in the different areas of your life. Manifestation requires focus. To be focused is to be in alignment. This belief ceiling exercise shows you where you are out of alignment in regards to your abundance goals. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? So what you've just learned is that there's a part of you that desires more out of life than what you're currently experiencing. That's the part of you that has you here signed up for the class. And you've also just discovered through the training that because you aren't experiencing what you truly want to experience, there's another part of you that actually doesn't want that. This is the part of you where the energy is unfocused. This is most likely true for anything you desire but have not yet manifested. And what we're generally taught is to take the part of us that wants our desire and use it to try to overpower the part of us that's resistant. We push ourselves to do this until we feel burnout, or we feel discouraged from lack of results. Then we start to believe things like, I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't committed enough, or I wasn't smart enough or determined enough. And these types of ideas begin to build upon our belief systems and programs that we have to suffer for what we really want. But there's an easier way to create the experiences you want from life. This is rarely talked about, but you can get what you want by bringing yourself into full alignment with those things. Wouldn't it be great if you could get into full alignment, and instead of trying to overpower the parts of you that are resisting your desire, you learn to bring all of those parts together so you can manifest effortlessly. When we get into full alignment with our desire, when every part of us wants it to come true without any resistance, it happens easily and effortlessly. You still have to take action, but that action will begin to feel easy and natural. and the process becomes effortless because there's no longer a part of you that's resisting the desire. You're then focusing all of your energy towards your desire instead of going back and forth, fighting internally against the resistance that blocks it. And when that happens, you begin to illuminate your entire consciousness on the experiences you choose to have, and then you become lit up for the whole of universal abundance to find you. So you can use the tools I've given you today to work on reprogramming your brain to accept new beliefs, eliminate resistance, and then come into full alignment with the life that you really want to create. Or if you feel called to work more deeply with this, you can choose to master your internal programs very quickly with me and a program I've created. How would you like it if you could work with me directly and I could show you how to implement some processes that will completely eradicate what blocks your success and abundance? And what if I could show you how to break into the operating system of your subconscious mind to change your old, outdated programs so you can act differently and attract differently? And what if the end result is a total transformation of your life into the person you've always wanted to be, but never knew how? What are the possibilities for you if you could make those types of changes? If you're thinking to yourself, wow, this really makes so much sense, I can completely understand how this has blocked me in my life. This is something I want coaching to learn more about. And if you're thinking I'm ready to master my internal programs and belief systems, then I'm going to talk to you about how you can really master this with me. Here's what I can offer you to help you make that happen and change your life. This is my Ultimate Manifestation Mastery course, where you're going to get my 4-week fast track to effortless manifestation modules. So this course is probably very different than the other courses you may have taken. It's very in-depth with mind training videos, meditations, and worksheets. They're going to move you out of your old programs and beliefs very quickly and show you step by step how to install new programs that drive you towards massive success and abundance. And you can complete these modules in 4 weeks to begin your effortless manifestation journey very, very quickly. In fact, I have students creating massive change in as little as a week with my training. Can you imagine seeing success and abundance in your life in as little as 1 week with this program? The best part is that with the processes, you're creating a foundation within yourself and building upon that layer by layer so that you navigate through life with ease, because I show you how to get into the operating system of your subconscious mind to create a total program that effortlessly drives you towards ultimate abundance and success. This started as a personal journey for me, and all of my training has been immensely helpful in my own life and to my own abundance programs. And as I stated earlier, I used to clean houses for a living, and I've made a huge transition in a very short amount of time. But I also had to make a big investment in myself to learn everything I've learned about deliberate manifestation, especially when it comes to abundance and success, because my abundance and success programs used to have so much resistance in them. So I made money investments when I really didn't think I had the money to spend, and I had to make time investments in myself as well. What I realized was when I healed my belief systems, my entire life started to improve. And you don't have to take the same journey as me, because I've listened to the repeated requests that I get from my followers, and I've taken everything I've learned over the past 15 years of studying, earning my PhD, and working with my clients, and I've condensed it into a life-changing online program. And the total value of these modules is $4,500. In addition to these modules given, I've also added my top 3 meditations, including the one that I personally use to completely change negative feeling states in minutes. You're also going to receive my personal manifestation action plan that I've used to create a life I love without wasting any time, and that I've successfully taught my clients to implement into their lives. You also get my core reboot process. This is the exact process I use for myself and my clients to eliminate core beliefs that block success and then replace them with empowering ones. This is an extremely valuable tool when it comes to changing those old programs. So I want to show you a few testimonials from actual students of my Ultimate Manifestation Mastery class. Here you can see Buddy. He says, I've done a lot of self-help courses over the years, but this is hands down the best course I've ever come across. I can already tell a change. Another one of my students says, for the first time in my life, I can now see how I got to this point, and that it was 55 years coming. She literally lived with these limiting belief systems that were keeping her from manifesting what she wanted and creating experiences in life that brought her joy and happiness for 55 years before she took charge of that. Another one of my members, Nicole, says, this course is way different than any other manifesting coaching course I've taken in the most positive ways. And I love reading something like that because I spent a really long time making sure that this was the absolute best material that a person could get in order to change their life in the fastest way possible. So for many of you, you'll watch something like this and you'll get really motivated that you can actually make a change in your life. But sadly, so many won't do anything about it. because they're giving into the old program that blocks them from creating success and abundance. When you don't override your belief ceilings, they remain in charge and keep you stuck. And when this happens, you wake up each day experiencing what you've always experienced because these habits haven't changed yet. And why does this happen? Because the old program that resides in the subconscious mind holds onto beliefs and blocks that drive the same behavior that it has always prompted to happen. And the only way to move past that is by consciously overriding that program and by making a decision to do something that changes your life right here and now. So the choice is do something now to change your life, or keep doing what you've always been doing and keep living the same life you've always been living. I had to make this choice in my own life, and I can tell you 100% it was literally the best decision I ever made. If you want different results, you have to do something differently, and I can show you how to do that. You don't have to continue to accept what your normal, everyday life has become. You can literally create a new reality. We start with rewiring your brain with abundance. And remember that I said abundance is whatever you think it is. It can be an abundance of love or an abundance of money. It can be an abundance of happiness or confidence. So whatever abundance means to you, I teach you how to rewire your brain for that abundance. I also show you how to recreate your emotional intelligence. Studies show that people who have a high EQ or a high level of emotional intelligence are people who have high levels of success in their life. So you're going to learn how to experience your emotions differently so you have total control over them and how you create your life, much like the process we just went through. In the third module of the course, I show you how to remap your behavior and create positive feedback loops that reward your brain with success so you reinforce the new programs. And in the fourth module of the course, I show you how to redesign your physical environment as well as your brain's environment and why this is so important to being successful, which is something that is rarely taught. With the totality of these modules, I teach you how to peel back the layers of what's been stopping you from creating success and abundance, and how to quickly create a program that drives you instinctively towards the outcome you wish to experience in your life. These tools in this program are what I've used to create the most incredible last few years of my life. They're how I've grown my YouTube channel so fast, and they're the reason why very successful people literally reach out to me every single day, wanting to know how I've accomplished so much so fast, or how we can partner up to create more success, or even wanting to know if I can coach them or give them some of my top pointers. Here are a couple of my other members creating massive success in record time. My student Amy said, "The first few lessons of the course have really hit a deep core wound of toxic shame and false self. It makes so much sense how contradiction vibrations can mess up manifesting. I'm welcoming the process and just wanted you to know how deep your work can impact someone. Thank you." And this student was able to manifest an extra $4,300 in just 25 days by changing her abundance belief systems and going beyond what she thought was possible. And here's my student Charles, who has reported success after success in the private support forum. This is what he said about one of my processes and how effective it was at removing the old belief systems that were blocking his success. "I'm currently working through this step, installing new supportive beliefs. For some, I definitely hear an inner voice that does not want to believe the new belief, just as the instructions say. For some, after the voice quiets, I find I need to continue longer. As I go, I first notice my actual voice changing inflections for the sentence I'm repeating. Then I begin to feel some powerful emotions, like anger and sadness. As I continue, eventually those feelings fade away, and it's then that I know the belief is installed. I find this fascinating." On another thread, he also said, "I'm honestly amazed at how quickly I'm seeing changes in my thoughts and behaviors. After decades of struggling to overcome fears and negative self-talk, the ease of this method blows my mind." I get to read awesome testimonials like this all of the time, which makes my work so very rewarding. These are people who have had lifelong habits that have blocked them, sometimes without even realizing it, from experiencing the life that they knew deep down they deserved. The step-by-step processes and support kept them on track to make the personal transformation from within that created a whole new world for them in their outer experience. And so many of them saw radical shifts in their lives in a very short amount of time. With the proper tools and instruction and accountability, they were able to reach the next level. I'm also going to add my 3 step-by-step techniques that teach you how to become the ultimate creator of your life. And I'm going to throw in a 1-year membership to my members-only website. So this is where you'll receive monthly content in the form of videos, articles, monthly challenges, and all of this information is really going to reinforce the new programs that you're creating. And with the 1-year membership, you get access to my exclusive private forum And I'm in there several times per week to answer questions. I also have another licensed coach there who gives fantastic advice. And then there's a wonderful group of supportive members there as well who share their successes and how they use some of the techniques in ways that really change the outcomes they're creating in their lives. Can you imagine having 100% total support on your personal transformation journey? This is a really valuable tool that I've seen amplify my students' success. So when I sell these items individually, this is what that looks like. I want to be certain that I'm offering everything that counts when it comes to creating a life by design and that I'm saving people time, money, and frustration. So taking a look at what we have here, if all this did was teach you how to open yourself up to new financial opportunities, or how to remove those belief ceilings that block you from having success, or if it taught you how to just be happier, or how to create a dynamic relationship, or improve your overall health, would it be worth it to you? Yeah, I think it would, and I think you probably think that too. But as I said earlier, I made the decision to create a valuable coaching program that didn't come at a private coaching price. So the value you see here isn't the actual price of this course. I do sell this course for $1,997, which is still much, much less than what private coaching costs. But because I know the economy has changed a bit recently, I've decided to offer this course for $697, so it's more affordable for anyone who wants to take action with their life today and create massive results in record time by learning how to create programs that automatically drive you towards success. But an online course isn't for everyone, so here's how to tell if it's for you. You're tired of working hard and efforting for success and abundance. You are committed to personal growth and changing your life for the better. You want to experience more freedom in your life. You want to feel excited about your life. And you're ready to let go of your excuses for why you can't do this. And here's how you'll know if this course is not for you. You're drowning in debt and can't meet your monthly obligations. You can be in this course if you have debt as long as you're able to meet your monthly obligations. But I don't want anyone to go into debt to do this. And you're not willing to do the work. You're going to be installing new programs, so there is work to do. And with this program, I also add a money-back guarantee because I stand behind my work. But you must be an action taker in order for this course to work for you. If you're not an action taker, it simply won't work because just consuming information doesn't create results. Action equals results. And the people I like to work most with are the ones who are motivated and take action when they see an opportunity because I know they're going to create success in their life by implementing the techniques given. So basically, if you sign up, I'm going to push you to do the work with a series of emails that outlines how to go through the processes over the first couple of weeks. I'm also in the private forum to push you as well, and I want you to take those instructions seriously because being accountable for what you do or don't do is really important throughout this process of transformation. But if you put in the work and you implement the processes and you show me that you have and you still don't feel like this course is right for you, I'll give you your money back. If you showed up here today, I know you're searching for a way to change those one or two things about your life that you're struggling with. And if you want to do something about that so you aren't missing out on all those wonderful opportunities that you know you're destined for, because you can feel it within you, nothing would make me happier than to help you change that and to see your success. Right now, you might be struggling with depression, or living paycheck to paycheck, or struggling to find meaningful experiences in your life. But when you invest in this course, those things are gone. And right now, you might not know how to break into the operating system of your subconscious mind to create programs that automatically drive you towards success and abundance. This is not something that's taught mainstream. But a couple of weeks from now, after you invest in yourself and your happiness, all of those struggles go away. We're often conditioned and socialized to put our needs second or third or even last, and because of this, many people will rarely entertain what they want or desire because their resistance is in charge. So sadly, for many people, the part of them that's scared to be successful or abundant overrides their true desires. We've also been conditioned to have a desire but dismiss it as not being possible, or not important, or not for right now, but later, or even that having abundance has some negative connotation attached to it. But your desires are a natural part of the flow of the universe. And by trusting them, and that you can actually live with them as a part of your life, especially abundance, is how we begin to align with that. You have an opportunity to become in charge of those programs and change that today. So if you're having trouble creating money and success, or you're struggling with manifesting the perfect partner, or you're having difficulty just being happy or even healthy, this course really can help you say goodbye to all of that starting today. There's a button below this video that you can click to get started. And one thing I know for sure is that if you want to discover new things, You have to travel away from the well-beaten path. I know that from experience in my own life, and I know that from the experience of my clients. And maybe you've been given the perfect opportunity to put yourself first in your life and start that now. Well, I hope you got a lot of value from the training and the exercise that we did together. And if you're interested in the exclusive price I'm offering right now, just click the button below this video. And I look forward to seeing you in the course and helping you create success and abundance in your life in very intentional ways.